Hey, everyone, welcome back. Let's talk about it. Let's get into the Thursday night action within the association. We're going to have 4 games in this shorter NBA slate. But with the baseball season in the books, we are ready to fire a lot of NBA research and betting nuggets throughout the year. We do love to talk some NBA on this channel. So if you're new here, please subscribe right down below, smash that like button, and let's get into the picks. All right. The first game we're going to dive into will be the Milwaukee Bucks and the Memphis Grizzlies. We're going to have a play in terms of the prop market here for you guys. And this is an interesting game for a lot of reasons, more so because we get to see Zach Edey kind of square up against the 1-3 Milwaukee Bucks. So this is an interesting season. I do think that when we talk about Giannis being questionable, Chris Middleton remains out, and we do get a lot of injuries there with the Memphis Grizzlies. Kind of like we saw last year throughout the course of the season. The Memphis Grizzlies just can never suit up for action. So Damian Lillard, it's going to be a Dame show. It's Dame time, and I think that he's going to have to carry this team against a Memphis Grizzlies team that, quite frankly, is underperforming, in my opinion. Kind of an interesting dynamic we have as well within what we see with that. But look at Damian. The volume's really not there. 13, 15 field goals to go along with 33, 21, 28 points. He's averaging 28 on the season. For my money, I would take Donovan Mitchell all day, twice on Sunday. It's just a different type of dynamic there. Giannis, by my account, looks to be able to play this evening. NBA, though, it's tough. You always get those late inactives there that end up dethroning you. Okay, but I'm going to pull up the odds board real quick for you guys so you guys can see this on your end. Got a little Halloween background fired up. Get a little trick-or-treating. All you parents out there, dads, moms watching, you know what I'm talking about. So make sure you got your coffee ready to go. But anyways, I digress. Let's get back into it. That Bucks Memphis game, the Memphis Grizzlies here on the season is kind of been not exactly what I'm gonna be kind of falling in love with the Grizzlies. But I do think that this is worth talking about as we've seen this number kind of open up where Milwaukee was getting 1.5, and now Milwaukee's favored by 6.5 points. I don't really think that's true, to be honest. I think there's something wrong with that odds board. But we are seeing a little bit more so of the money on Memphis. The total has kind of not really taken a hit. It's kind of stayed at 228. This is a game where you want to talk about the big man down low. I'm not a fan of Zach Edey, just being honest with you guys. I haven't been when he was at Purdue. And as a rookie, I just don't know how this translates into the NBA game. He's a rookie. He's getting 18 minutes, 14 minutes, conditioning, stamina. That's always been the thing with me. And I'm not looking to attack the kid. I just don't think that the Edey dynamic to go alongside John Morant, I don't think it's going to be that kind of, it's not going to go together like spaghetti and meatballs. You know what I mean? So lamb and tuna fish. Anyways, but that's kind of where Zach Edey goes into this game, and we're going to attack against him. We're looking to the block market, and I know that's you guys are probably saying, "What are you talking about, block market?" Okay, well, yeah, you can get plus 175. All right, so this will be a half unit play for me because the kid is about 7'12", but we are going to take Zach Edey under a half a block. He's only recorded 1 block on the season, and this was 2 games ago in a game where he played 23 minutes. So in the 4 other contests, he did not eclipse the 20-minute mark, and he did not have a block in that contest. So all the same, I think that Giannis, if he does play, it's going to keep him off the court a little bit more. They look for a rim defender, but the Milwaukee Bucks, they play like deer at times, and they literally will run up and down the court. And that's kind of where Zach Edey will be just look like out there in left field looking into outer space. I just don't think it's a good matchup for him. I don't think he's on the court for too long. And hey, he's 7 foot something. He could get a block, and it's a losing bet. But at plus 175, I'm going under Zach Edey. I'm going to trust the numbers here. As he's averaging way under 1 block per game. So that's kind of where I'm at. That's my first best bet for this evening. All right, Houston in Dallas, another game where we're going to look into the prop market as well. We're going to getting down to that area of the screen where I got to kind of hide my face. So apologies for that. But we do see Dallas here in the spot. Okay, a heavy favorite, 6.5 point favorite. Where by all accounts, we look at the betting numbers here, and we can talk about the majority of people are going to be on the Mavericks. And kind of interesting thing, we'll kind of talk a little politics, I guess. But I think I read something in the news where Mark Cuban, being the former owner of the Mavericks, huge on the Harris side. He's a borderline cabinet member, and as we're weeks away from the election, sells the team to a lady that now owns the Dallas Mavericks that just gave a crap ton of money to the Trump campaign. It's funny how things work. So it's just kind of, I thought that was kind of interesting for all you, people out there that do care about politics. And make sure we go out and vote. Doesn't matter who you vote for. I'm not going to ever tell you guys anything or use this to be a political platform, but this is a little voting advocacy. So that way we do our civil duty, okay, our civic duty, whatever you want to call it. But let's get back into it. And we have the Mavericks and Rockets. The biggest thing going for us in this game is the Luka Doncic prop world. Okay. Houston does not give up a lot of a kind of, I guess you say Houston makes the other team play off the dribble more. They allow for a lot more man opportunities and very, very little ball movement, that we do see less ball movement. Okay. Now Luka in the passing market, that's been something that's always held true. But this Rockets team here, 2-2, and the Mavs 3-1 on the season. I think this is something where we do get an interesting ball game. I think the 6.5 is something where if I did have to lend towards the side, it would be on the side of the Houston Rockets. If we want to talk about that number in terms of a betting trend, okay, we are going to dive into the kind of dynamic Klay Thompson, Kyrie Irving, and Luka Doncic to go along with others. This is a very interesting Dallas Mavericks team. Now, the Houston Rockets, conversely, I know it's a different look, new year, but 28 of their last games, 19-9 against the number, and now they're getting 6.5. That number has been bought down from 7.5, and we have seen the total fall from 227 to 225. So I would lean towards the over, and I do favor the Rockets if we were going to play the spread. However, my bet here in this matchup will be Luka Doncic, and I'll put it up on your screen for you guys. We are going to take the under points and assists here, okay? We are going under his 38.5 points and assists. This number has climbed a little bit, so if you want plus money, you can take 38.5. Otherwise, you can find a better number. We can alt line it. This is the great thing about Outlier. We could actually even find the under. Yeah, right now, all it's showing is the under 38.5, which is fine. I still like it at 38.5. Let's look at this and why I like this bet. Okay, so in the last 5 games, and this is only accompanying 4 from 2024 season. He's failed to eclipse it all but one time against Phoenix, 44 points. Okay. And the other reason why I like it is because if you look at statistics, the Rockets allow, I think right here, you can see it for yourself overall, the second fewest assists per game for the Houston Rockets. So if Luka, if he drops 40 on his own, then hey, tip of the cap, I'll lose my bet. But under 38.5 points and assists, I think there's value. There's some history. And the last time that he was out, we're looking at 23, 32, and even against a Minnesota squad where Dallas was able to put up 120 points, he still only had 24 and 8. So we'll see what happens. The assists have been down this season. So really it's just a bet that, hey, he doesn't get into the 30s in terms of points. So I'm going to take Luka under the points and assist market. At plus 100, 38.5 will be that under. All right, next game we're going to dive into and get back into the odds board real quickly is the San Antonio Spurs and Utah Jazz. I'm going to have a play on the under, like the under 223.5. We can see how the under has fared for these teams, and you can see that the San Antonio Spurs are a very predominant under team. We saw it time and time again, very defensive minded. And they do lack the ability to score on the back end. So unless you face a team that likes to run it up down the line, and you get the secondary players, the bench players come up, and it's not a possession game, and they just turn into a track meet in reps. That's the only reason that this game will not go under. Utah as well is another team that is a dead under for me. So these two teams play each other. It gives me a pretty fair kind of spot here where I do like the fact that we get the Spurs and the Jazz here on a under. Okay. And especially with we have the Spurs coming off of a trip to they played Oklahoma City. And this is something where I just don't. I could see this game being a little bit playing into the 210s. I could see this. I think this is a little bit too juiced up for me over 220. I just don't buy it. Okay, so I'm going under 223 and a half. That's what my numbers tell me as my first bet against the spread or total for this night outside of the prop market. Next, we will have kind of two other bets. I do want to share with you guys. I like the Jeremy Sokan over 19 and a half. But as I like this bet, I like the under more. So if you don't like the under and you want to bet an over, I'm not going to bet an over with points and assists because that means that we're going to get a ton of points. It's gonna lead to more points. It kind of contradicts itself. But I do like the Jeremy Sokan over points and assists. Very, very much a spot where power forwards do well against the Utah Jazz and against good, I guess you would say, negative matchups. He did well cashing over the 19 and a half. So getting 20, 20, 26, and 21 in the first 4 games of the season. So the over set at 19 and a half. It's a plus matchup for him tonight. And I would lean towards Jeremy Sokan over in the points and assists. It's just in the spot that San Antonio's in with travel and all and playing the Jazz. I just like the under more so 232 and a half. Okay. Next, in the last game we're going to talk about is going to be the likes of the Phoenix Suns and Los Angeles Clippers. Another under for me. We're gonna load up on some unders early on in the season. 222 and a half is the best number available, and that's kind of where I'm at. You could look in kind of the snail pace the Clippers have been playing at, and this is a rematch of that overtime game. That within overtime we still basically did not even get close to it. So I do like the under. I think the overtime helps us with the baseline number here. That the under has hit in a lot of Clippers games, 8 out of their last 12. And I do favor the Suns in this spot, though, if I was going to bet it again. But the Clippers, they're just dreadful against the spread, 22%. And actually, shout out to me. I did take them plus 10 in the only game that they covered this season where everybody thought I was full of crap. And it was a horrible bet. They were getting 10 points. I forget who they were playing. But I felt, and I actually even sprinkled a little bit on the money line in that game. But we had the Clippers. They played, who was that? Golden State. Yeah, they won 112-104 at Golden State. A little love on the money line, plus 215, as well as that. I got it at plus 10, albeit we did get some closing line value, closing at 8.5. Okay. But that's kind of where I'm at with these bets. We are going to pull up kind of just one last time, show you guys what's going on. We have that last game. For some reason, this is kind of lagging. But yeah, Clippers and the Suns, we're going to look at that. Minus 190, Phoenix on the money line, and a laying 5.5 on the road as they battle the Los Angeles Clippers. Still minus Kawhi. It's a tough spot. Bradley Beal is questionable as well. We do get Kawhi, Mo Bamba, and PJ Tucker all out for the Clippers. I just really, really like the Suns in this, but more so my best bet would be the under. Okay. And also one last prop bet to get you guys on your way is we are going to look into James Harden. Okay. We're going to dive into the beard and we are going to look at player props. Okay. And this will be offensively. We're going to dive into the points. If I can find it, it's points, rebounds, and assists. For some reason, it's giving me some issues. I think it's general. Yep. Points, rebounds, and assists for James Harden. Okay. Now, what we're going to look into is the 39 and a half. All right. And for 39 and a half, and for my money, minus 105, that is the best bet that we're going to make. James Harden has struggled to hit this. And this is it's a spot where if you look at it, okay, James Harden has not really delivered for my money and what I like to bet. I want to pull up something though real quick because I think I have the wrong kind of graphic. Give me 1 second. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So I do like James Harden here, fading him in the points, rebounds, and assists. Under 39.5. I just don't think that we get there in this spot. We saw this against Phoenix. He had 49 in that market. But for me, guys, I am going to lend towards the argument that he doesn't get home with this, and that will be my best bet. I'm going to show you guys a little bit more so real quickly before I let you go. Player props, and then this is where we're going to find. Yeah, James Harden has failed to exceed 38.5 rebounds, points, and assists in 17 of his last 19 games. against top 10 defenses for rebounds allowed. And this is the Phoenix Suns that we're talking about. So I am going under that 38.5, 39.5. The number has climbed. I'm going to wait because I think we get a better number on this. 49 was that overtime price. I think this is going to be a little bit of a, hey, let's just get ready for the weekend kind of spot. I think that we look at Phoenix, they're going to play a little bit more defense. The only thing that really scares me is the fact that James Harden going against Durant, get a little bit more of the juices flowing. So, but we will back this. Last game, he had 34. Just kind of betting against Harden, okay? And I know it's probably not a good bet more times than not, especially without Kawhi Leonard, but I just think we get a dud here for the Clippers. So I'm going under 40. It's going to be 40.5, I guarantee you, by game time. So I'm going to wait on this one. Right now it's at 39.5 minus 105. You can take a juiced up 40.5 if you want, but that's just another prop that I like. So just to recap quickly, I will give you a rundown of my best bets. We don't have a yellow screen. We don't have the little end page, but if you guys are watching, listening, closed captioning, great. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below. If you want to get back to the channel, become a channel member. Links are down below for that. $9.99 a month. Don't charge for picks, but that's just a way that helps us do some cool stuff here. Also, free Discord, free Twitter, and if you guys haven't done so, check out all the sponsored links down below in the description. Most notably Outlier, where we do have a 7-day free trial. All right, but in this Thursday night action for the NBA, we will have 2 bets on the under Utah and the Clippers games, respectively. We're going under 232.5, 222.5 for the Clippers game. I'm taking Edey under a half block at plus 175. That will be a half unit play. Luka under the 38.5 points and assists, and James Harden under 38.5 points, rebounds, and assists to go alongside the Jeremy Sochan prop. If you like it, a little side nugget there where I will look at Jeremy Sochan over. I believe it's 19.5 points and assists. Okay. So that'll wrap it up. Appreciate you guys watching. Enjoy this Thursday, and we will have a lot of content and picks this weekend. And good luck. All right. Thanks again. And we'll see you guys all tomorrow. Cheers.